Hey guys, it's Jamie. So today I want to talk about specifically certain nuances, I guess, in trans men spaces, and this kind of prompted me to discuss because I actually went discussing in certain subreddits, and I felt like browsing discussions adds something if I had to add or something I could suggest to people. So normally I frequent subreddits just to browse. Sometimes I can need some help or something, but in that case I just want to discuss like trans stuff, just felt like it. And I browse subreddits quite frequently, but I'm usually on other subreddits or doing shit posts or talking about makeup. So I haven't been as active in the trans ones as much. Besides like maybe F2 and femininity, which I quite enjoy. But in general, I have been noticing the sort of shift, and it's been quite evident. I think that a lot of trans men spaces have been a bit more policing, and I did notice that specifically like FTM men, which has been advocated as binary sub. Has had sort of like people discussing should that they feel like it's having much of a non-binary voice, more of a trans masc voice rather than just trans men, and I even actually had to admin a server, which I do have, but it's quite dead because I don't really invite people. I haven't had time. I have too many things on my plate. I have a thesis to finish, so I don't really do anything to support it these days other than whenever someone shows up, like I reply or something. So I do understand that a lot of trans guys obviously binary. I mean, wants a binary space, and I sometimes don't wouldn't mind that either. And I feel like, for instance, my frustration, I wouldn't say frustration because I have nothing against non binary men, but I do feel like sometimes because in life there's a lot more transmasc men I know than binary. And a very common occurrence is the fact that we really do not see eye to eye when it comes to bottom dysphoria. And I do understand that obviously uh, this is different from person to person. This is different from binary to non-binary in this case. Like I really want to get follow, while people who I know IRL are very vocally anti-follow. Not everyone, just like certain, and it would even cause a point of friction where I don't feel comfortable because I just feel shut down from certain discussions. And it's not even, it's just from the whole perspective that they just want to shut it down. And here in general, I would say society is quite hostile. Like I remember many years ago I would see stuff like in different LGBT places, sort of like oh, accept like the man clits, whatever, and there's this whole word um, which was apparently I recently found out coined by it was by Brazilian transmasc people that it's basically kind of like boy cunt in Portuguese, and apparently it's meant to be used by non-binary transmasc people to sort of differentiate but still sort of keep it as their own, and it's like okay, fine, but I guess I just didn't know that. And at the same time, the sort of kind of, it was a magazine I was checking online and a publication, and they were kind of just umbrellaing all the trans men experiences, and it's like there was nothing about follow. So it's like if you're gonna focus, for instance, on that experience, then I would say that it's more like for the trans mask people rather than to say that it's also for trans men. And that is something that I don't feel comfortable with. So it's kind of like if this is an experience that is just trans mask, then do not put trans men into it, and vice versa. So it's so for instance, seeing those discussions or those assumptions that I would be comfortable with, for instance, my genitalia when I'm on the waiting list for follow, make me a bit defensive. When I think about online spaces, I want to obviously have, in this case, more binary dudes to talk to, or people who go for follow who have a similar experience. And specifically, since this is the sort of the issue in my head right now. And then now on online spaces, we have absolute bullshit like if you use your front hole for sex, regardless, then you're not a binary man, which is like such an absurd take, which I would say is as weird as people thinking that everyone should be okay with a front hole from the IRL spaces, or sort of not discussing bottom dysphoria and sort of advocating for acceptance of, say, said boy counts, really. So you have that, and then it just goes, and it's an experience which a lot of trans guys, binary trans guys, discuss, that then you can't find a space for yourself. You can't find something online, you can't find something IRL, and then obviously trans men try to find discords, then they can't manage. Then in trans binary spaces, there's a lot of trans meds, which I absolutely do not agree with. Like, I do think that you need a certain amount of dysphoria to be like binary trans, probably, but I still don't really police it as much. I think it's still something for doctors to decide, the people who are gonna give you tea, who are gonna put you on surgeries and etc. So it's quite a difficult condition, sort of, to make a Discord and then try to make sure they don't get trans meds, because I've had to kick out people and stuff. So I kind of see that it's really difficult. And then you have to distill the space, and in general, our community fucking hates itself. And we are barely getting any attention media just for being trans men, because people see us as confused woman, which absolutely isn't the case. I'm a dude. And it just gets tricky from that. And like, speaking on the subject of media, like, I was having an interesting discussion with quite a few people, like, for instance, about how so obviously if you're American, you've been following, or if you're not American, you've probably also heard about the whole issue with Kamala Harris's VP, Tim Walz, I think. Walz is his surname, I think. And he wants to put tampons in men's bathrooms, sort of to show that trans people are welcome, so trans men. And then there's this, I was even thinking of doing a video on it, but I don't feel like it deserves its own video, but I'll just mention it quickly. So it's kind of, it makes an assumption that all trans men menstruate, and that isn't the case for many as well. So we're in this place where no one understands us. We don't understand ourselves. The media doesn't understand us. Politicians don't understand us. And in general, trans people are quite a topic of discussion. So it's quite tricky all around, factually. So it is very uncomfortable, and I do understand the sort of facts that trans men can't find a place just to discuss. So yeah, we're kind of in this weird situation where non-binary trans-masc people are not getting along with binary trans men, and everyone's just kind of pushing each other one side to another side, and at the same time there's not enough non-binary representation, and uh, there needs to be sort of like more supports, for instance, like in the Portuguese health system comes to binary people, because with binary it's pretty straightforward, I'd say. Obviously we have our hurdles, but for non-binary it's a lot trickier. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I don't really have a solution other than we should somehow coexist, but that is more easier said than done. And yeah, this is pretty much what's been going on. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. So I guess thank you for getting informed. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to share, discuss it among your trans guy friends, discuss it among, in general, your trans friends. And yeah, it was interesting to sort of shed a bit of light on what I saw from the Brazilian trans community, I guess. But yeah, in general, it's quite interesting because obviously I see more of the Brazilian and Portuguese trans community online, and obviously I see it firsthand as well. So a lot of my videos are not exactly catered for that, but I still try to talk about it. Just want sort of for everyone to have something other than just the community around me. So yeah. So thank you very much for watching again. Please click a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you haven't so. And yeah, share this video. I don't think you have to. It's not a very controversial one, I hope. So yeah, thank you very much for watching.